Hello everyone, welcome to Roma Theory. There we have it. Was anybody not expecting this is the question. UEFA came, hunted us down and penalised Mourinho. And not just Mourinho, they penalised the fans as well. And today we're going to talk about this because I think it's going to pull out a massive debate. Mourinho got banned, 4-game ban, but it's not just that, because Roma have a fine of around 100k, if I'm not wrong. Added onto that, out of the Europa League games which we're going to play next season, Roma fans can't travel away to one of those games, and one of the games in that Europa League group stage, which is going to be played at the Olimpico, it's going to be without a large majority of the people going there. So we literally got hunted down. Once again, this is a clear demonstration of UEFA targeting us because we have Mourinho on that bench, because this is unacceptable. You cannot give that much of an exaggeration just because the manager went, oh, it's a fucking disgrace. It is a complete and utter exaggeration. Now again, be careful here. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Mourinho deserved the penalisation, and I am going to say that. As a Roma fan, I will admit that. But not this much. 4 games plus all of the added things is too much. Anyways, we'll get into this today. I think, to kind of introduce this. In Italy, we don't say, oh my god, what a scandal. In Italy, we say, te pareva. And I think that's beautiful. That's the perfect sum up of everything. Because this punishment is just too much. It's just too much. And the thing which I want to get into is not just the details of this punishment, because at the end of the day, the punishment has been declared. Roma's probably gonna appeal this, but we will never win this appeal because of the way UEFA is. Because of the way UEFA is structured. Even if we appeal this, it's never going to happen. It just won't happen. We will get this penalisation next season. Now, the thing which irritates me is, the thing which I think has to be said. A penalisation had to happen, in my opinion. Even if it was a light one, I think it had to happen. Because yes, obviously you express because we were robbed. We were robbed. And everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. And, for a manager to wait the referee in the garage and call him a fucking disgrace in front of the cameras is obviously unacceptable. If that was behind the cameras, cameras were turned off for that, this thing would have never happened. But obviously it got captured, and I'm not sure if it was meant to be captured, but the thing got captured, so obviously it was going to get penalised. But giving this much of a penalisation is a disgrace. It's an utter disgrace. And look, I will be honest with you, the reason why is this happened is 90% because of the reaction of Roma fans at the airport. 100%. The thing which exacerbated everything here is the reaction of Roma fans at the airport. Had that reaction not happened, and had Jose only said, this is a fucking disgrace, he would have gotten penalised, but definitely not this much. But I do think it could also be said that the two things are linked. The reaction of the fans couldn't have happened if Jose didn't say that to kind of, start the flames. But the question here is, okay, we will accept this penalisation. What about the referees? Because, look, I am going to be very honest here. I am accepting that my manager got banned and that us fans are going to be banned for a few games in that Europa League campaign next season. But I want a justification of why the referees are not involved in this. First of all, why are the referees not punished? Second of all, from that Europa League final to now, almost a month after, why have we still not received a clarification, a justification saying that Anthony Taylor was wrong, and we understand that he was wrong, we've committed mistakes, this is an apology to us, to every Roma fan. Why hasn't that still happened? Okay, Mourinho got punished, I'll accept that. Why don't referees be punished instead of always blaming the managers and always shoving that responsibilities on managers? Why do referees never get punished? Never. And look, I'm not even asking for a punishment. I'm asking for justification, not even a clarification of what went wrong in that game. Because if UEFA doesn't do that, UEFA shows everybody that they are dumb as hell. If they retain that Europa League finals officiating as fine, no mistakes were committed, it's a disgrace. It's a human disgrace. At least say that we got it wrong. Because I would have said this, and I'm going to say this. Had this happened 7 years ago, without all of that technology which they've established to check, nothing would have happened, and especially the fans would not have been this irritated. Because without all of this technology, you can make mistakes. Before VAR, referees made mistakes, but they were justified for making mistakes. Because in a moment of pressure, maybe you get something wrong, and that is completely fine, because referees are human as well. But after all of the money you spent to put those VAR, those technology and all of that, protecting referees is unjustifiable. It's unjustifiable. And that is the thing which will continue to irritate Roma fans. It just will continue. And I will be honest here, if UEFA has the balls to do something, if Anthony Taylor has the balls to do something, assign him to direct the Roma game back at the Olimpico. He is not getting home alive. Do it. If you've got the balls, to say that Anthony Taylor is a perfect referee, did not commit any mistakes in that Europa League final, and will continue to officiate very important European games, fine. Place him in a Roma game at the Olimpico. Let's see how it goes. The man can say goodbye to his family because he ain't going back home. Do that. If he was fine, he's fine, he didn't commit any errors, do that. Let's see what happens to him. And I think the thing which is, and this is, again, I'm speaking on the behalf of Roma, but everything here, the managers always take the responsibility prior to the referees. And that's something which I will not understand. I just won't understand. We were clearly robbed. And people from every single fan base, apart from Seville and Lazio, admit the fact that we were robbed in that game. Again, I've said this last week, people who think that Fernando's arm was in a natural position, I advise you to do one thing. Download the PDF rules of referees on Google, print them, and have a good old read. Because how can that be? How can that be a natural position? And again, another thing which is so irritating about these referees is that they're so inconsistent. In one league, they give some calls, they give penalties, which in other leagues they don't give. In the same league, in one game week, they give a penalty which is never a penalty, and they miss out a penalty which is a clear penalty. There is so much discontinuity when it comes to officials, officiating games, these referee rules, to the extent that I would actually be honest with you here, I truly believe that every referee implements the wrong rules, and that they don't follow a spreadsheet. They just don't follow rules, because otherwise you cannot explain this. It's impossible to believe that every referee follows the same rules. Every referee does whatever they want. Every referee has their own rules, because otherwise you will never explain the discontinuity that they have. Again, the thing here is this thing has gotten so big in so little time because of English media. I agree with everybody in the chat that say that this is the consequence of being blashed out by English media. Because had the English media and all of those English journalists which work in England, had they ignored this, we would have never seen such a reaction. Never. Because all of this is because the thing which has to be blamed is the English media. I fully agree on that. Because, why am I saying this? I am saying this because UEFA is carried by English teams and Real Madrid. Basically, the hierarchy of UEFA is Real Madrid and Barcelona plus every single English team. So Man United, Chelsea, Man City, all of these teams have too much power. So what happens here is, now that English teams are the richest out there and are the most financially powerful teams out there, they have so much power over UEFA. And as a result of this English media saying that Roma's actions were terrible, they have to be punished, the fans can't do that at the airport. And I agree, the fans can't do that. Mourinho can't blast out Anthony Taylor like this because he's an English referee, just because of the power that these English teams have over the European Football Association, is the reason why we, and I say we, Mourinho got banned today for 4 games next week. Because there is a clear hierarchy going on. And in this hierarchy, the top positions are being filled by these English oil merchant sides. And as a result of this, they've got too much power. They've got too much power. The money that they have is making them, is making their power monstrous. It's immense. And as a result of the fact that the guy was an English guy, and therefore the English Association of Referees, which is linked with the Premier League, obviously wanted clarifications and punishments towards the Roma environment because of the misbehavior towards Anthony Taylor. That is the reason why we are seeing us being harassed. Can I say harassed and abused by UEFA? Had the referee been a Spanish referee or a French referee, none of this would have happened. None of this. But England is too big in football right now. They've got way too much power. And we can control things. Because in compared to that, Italy, who's got teams which, have been linked in the past with corruption or full of corruption, they play in a league like the Serie A, which is, as we've said many, many times, a backward league, which doesn't really strictly follow what the UEFA actually asks for. Because, right now, all UEFA care about is making football attractive. And when you've got Italian teams who've got rotten stadiums, keep on playing in rotten stadiums, and don't take a step to improve the conditions of their own league, there will never be a close link between UEFA and the Italian Football Association. And therefore, this gap between us and UEFA is going to enlarge every day we speak. And as a result of the fact that we are an Italian team, we are being targeted this much. I just again, it's not the punishment which I care about. It's not that. It's not the punishment which I care about. It's us not counting anything because we are an Italian team. That is the conclusion of everything. I am pissed about the punishment, but after 4 games it's done. And it's not the punishment which it is continuing to irritate me. It's this footprint which will never get away from us. We have lost that Europa League final. because of some terrible refereeing decisions. And yet, after being harassed this much in that game, we get harassed even more because of the outcomes of that game. That is the most irritating thing. It's not the punishment. The punishment is important to talk about, but it's not the main thing here. It's the fact that we are part of an association of football which doesn't count. It doesn't count in UEFA's vision of making football an attractive game. That's the problem. And that to me is the most is the reason behind everything. Because again, how many times have we seen managers blow out against referees? We've seen this plenty of times. But yet, why is it that when a manager who is a manager of an Italian team does something like this, everybody starts to exaggerate and overhype themselves? How many times have we seen Klopp go against referees and nothing happened to him? Nothing happened to him. Not even one game suspension. And yeah. Unfortunately, that is the case. Anyways, an important thing right now. You know when we always say that the Fredkins have to speak, this is the time to speak. This is the time to speak and ask for clarifications. Again, I've said that at the start. We are going to appeal this. But we're never going to win this appeal. We are never going to win it because of all of these past 20 minutes which I've been talking to you. We will never win this appeal because we just won't. Right now, we need to take that next step of power. I am sweating as mad, as you can probably see on that screen. We need to take that next step of power and show everybody that we count in this game. And I'm not sure if that means hiring somebody, as we were speaking the other day, like Zibi Boniek, who has close relationships with UEFA, as he's the vice president after Ceferin. But we need somebody to kind of calm the distances between us and the world of referees. Because again, this is not a discussion which is going on just in the UEFA Football Association and European tournaments, but it's something which has been going on incredibly often in this area as well. We are in a war against referees. We are in a war against UEFA after this Europa League final. We cannot give up to lose this war, but we can only improve things. And by improving things, I mean speaking out loud and hiring more powerful positions. That is the only way we win this war. Otherwise, forget about it. Right, let's read a few things. In the meantime, if you haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Anthony Taylor did the real damage. Mission accomplished by the English football mafia. Did the referee get banned too? Not a chance the referee got banned. Anthony Taylor can still referee is a joke. Nothing happened at the airport. A group of fans chanted and yelled at the ref. No one threw a chair at Taylor. Taylor's entourage shoved and punched two of our fans and the chair was thrown at that guy, says Rocco. Funny enough, the hypocrite English media didn't pay attention to the unethical behavior of West Ham fans at the final. Another great point. You're a genius. You're an absolute genius. You are an absolute genius. What's your name? Focus Tech. You are a genius. What West Ham fans did is 10 times worse what Roma fans did. Added on to that, it was done in a football environment inside a stadium, and it clearly led to Biraghi cutting his head out wide open. What happened to them? Nothing. Genius. That again shows you why UEFA and English teams are like kissy asses together. English teams are UEFA's. They're pets. You know, at school, you always have that teacher's pet. Well, UEFA's pet is English teams and English media and all of that because they've got too much money. And UEFA knows that if they don't go against these English teams, they all collaborate together to form the Super League to undermine UEFA. And that obviously is something which Chefrin the dickhead has to avoid. Because otherwise, where does UEFA go in a context where the Super League gets created? Everything is linked together. That West Ham fan thing is another great example. Anthony is just a crying clown. He must accept his mistakes and at least say he's made some. But everything with this situation is shameful. I hope we go next year to the final and show our potentials. Even in England, they don't like Taylor because he's horrible. Bring on ZB. I think it's because of Mourinho, says TLL. Hi Simon, hello mate, how are you? The English know that in Serie A, if Serie A invests in infrastructure and starts to own their own stadiums, the glory days will return. I fully agree on that. When I saw English ref in that final, I knew the little details will be against us. All this bullshit just makes me happier that we beat England in the Euro final. Oh yes, oh yes. I'm sorry, again, maybe there are a lot of English people here. I love English people. I myself go to an English school and I'm Italian. But I cannot stand how and why and all of this nonsense of power and money. I just cannot stand that. I just can't. And look, I'll be honest with you. I also cannot stand what happened after that Euro 2020 final, with English fans being salty and beating the ass out of Italian fans just because we won. Again, these are little details which I really don't like. And again, as you just said, it makes you even prouder to have beat them in a Euro 2020 final. All of those English fans crying on the floor, kisses our ass, calling us mafia people. Oh, Italy mafia. Spaghetti mafia. The only problem on the airport is that nobody not punched this asshole in the face, says Brannick. I don't know. To be fair, I was, again, I wasn't there at the airport. I was in Budapest, but we left 2 days after the game, and the airport thing was the day after. And I didn't even see videos of that because I was so pissed off after that final that everything was irrelevant. But yeah, look, he got banned. Mourinho banned for 4 Europa League games. The fans are prohibited to go on an away day next year, and in one home game next season, the majority of the stadium, the capacity of the stadium will be filled out. Plus, we have a fine. Again, we've got hunted down. We are still being targeted. We need more power is the conclusion of everything. If you haven't already, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. For more Roma updates, this is the best channel if you want Roma updates week in, week out, day in, day out in English if you're not Italian, but transfer news and all things about Roma. So subscribe, smash the like button, click all of the things below, and I will catch you tomorrow with more transfer updates. Simon, I'm British and I loved it. Italy won that final. Love it, mate. I will catch you tomorrow again. Before you leave, please hit that like button and I'll catch you very soon. Simon, out.